And if this a distraction, I want to just openly say this to the people that be in these comment sections, even on a topic about the alleged the little black boy that was killed by the Asian dude. Can I say something? I notice all the white people and model minority groups that get on here making jokes about the death of a little boy, right? Even let's say that this is a distraction because all the truth is coming out and all these political moves that they're trying to make, and because they want to redo the Constitution to take off Indians not taxed, and they just want to redo the Constitution as if that's going to change the fact that they owe us millions of dollars no matter what. They talking about for taxing us American Indians for all these 100 and some odd years will not change anything. You will still owe back pay for all the times you have taxed us. But going back to now that we now know that the Native Americans are not real American Indian. But going back to what I was saying, a lot of these white people who enjoy seeing black people or us American Indians, so-called black people, get killed, you mean to tell me that the reason why you condone in the death of us American Indians is because your fear of being economically set back as a result of not naturally having a merit-based work ethic where you actually have to work to get what you need, instead of just gaining it because your hue of complexion. And that you out here killing folk and wanting our children and stuff dead because you're afraid to lose like you're afraid of us coming up because you feel like that'll make you fall or set you back and put you in poverty. Well, what happened to working? Us coming up don't change work ethic. What happened to you working? Us coming up don't do nothing to you. Because there are black millionaires and there's white billionaires. There's black billionaires and there are white ones. So the proof is in the pudding that there's room for us to grow and have. So a lot of what you're feeling is just jealousy and insecurity. And you mean to tell me that you want to see brown-skinned men and women die for economic status? Is fucking insane. How insecure are you? No, how insecure do you have to be to want somebody dead and to glorify them dying because you saying if we let them get up, it is going to make, it's going to say, how can a white person please explain to me how black people's success will affect them? I'm not understanding. Like, maybe we could ask AI. Back to it, right? When black individuals achieve higher levels of success, we got to say it again, it directly contradicts these long-held stereotypes, creating psychological discomfort or cognitive dissonance for those who benefit from racial hierarchy. Exactly. Because again, if you created a system based around social hierarchy where it's not merit-based and you're just getting into Ivy League schools and getting better jobs and getting approved for home loans just based off your hue of complexion and not based on merit and work ethic, then anytime you see a brown-skinned person who you've been holding back achieve, even after you have created systems and avenues to suppress them, it would make you question whether or not you are superior, which again, you aren't. If you are superior, you would not have to hold anyone back to make it. When you have to cheat the system to rig the game so that the only way you are successfully winning is due to the fact that your skin is lighter, but not based on actual merit, where you are intellectually exceptional, right? You are actually gifted or talented, but it's just based on you having hues of complexion that are lighter. That right there screams inferiority that has been given an advantage, not superiority. where it would naturally be a disadvantage for those whom you deem inferior. You would not have to create avenues to make somebody seem inferior. They would just fall, and naturally you would reign to the top. But again, I speak about all the economic and social systems that you guys have placed as a stumbling block in front of brown-skinned people in America to create avenues of a false narrative of brown-skinned people being inferior by way of creating these stumbling blocks, right? So zero-sum bias and resource anxiety. Many people, white people, view society and model minority groups. I don't know. I think they just kind of follow white folk. So that's why I'm only really saying white people, because other people just kind of follow. Other model minority groups, they kind of follow. We talked about that the other day. So I'm just going to say white folk, because everybody else, I'm not even... Anyway. So it says many people view societal success as a zero-sum game, right? For white individuals who are themselves struggling, such as those displaced by globalization or economic shifts. So people like Elon Musk, who come from an apartheid system where in Africa, the dominant hand are the African people, right? And apartheid was to push the wealth from them into white people's hands and create an unfair advantage. Again, we're not talking about superiority. We're talking about treachery that incentivizes inferiority, that gives the look of superiority without actually being it, right? So it says, so for white individuals who are themselves struggling, such as those displaced by globalization and economic shifts, the advancements of black professionals can feel like a direct threat to their own opportunities, often leading to a phenomenon known as white backlash, right? If that's a thing, right? So this is true, right? It's a thing. It's true. This is when you look at sporting events and you see little Coco, who was 20 years old and younger, who, got 3 grand slams. She plays tennis. And you would see these white people trying to make it lie about her character. When somebody hate on you, the first thing they try to do, if they can't control you, is control the perception of you to make other people hate you. They will, like they did Simone Biles, they will naturally... She was great. They would mark her excellence down a notch, like they tried to do with Sha'Carri Richardson in Australia when they made her go up against their best elite white runners and she beat them all, and they tried to downplay her success and her achievements and her gift, right? How they try to downplay black intellect, and they see black doctors, lawyers, surgeons, and graduates in college thus far, but they try to tell you that we dumber and we can't read and we less inferior. But then you have black inventors, black chemists, engineers, right? Architects, and you see all these black people doing such great things, and they try to tell you, oh, these are exception to the rule. Well, that has already been broken, because there are millions of them, and have been since prior to the coming of white people into the Americas in the 1840s, right? So this black excellence has been around longer than America has even been its own independent country, right? So let's keep going. Threats to a social and professional dominance. The integration of black individuals into historical white spaces forces a redistribution of power. Okay, so here's my take on that. Again, I go back to when segregation was implemented, was a thing just naturally. And black people had their own bustling communities separate from white people, and white people went into black people's community and burned them down. If white people never went to our community in the first place, they would not have to be worried about sharing spaces with black people. If you implement segregation and stop coming around us, then you would not have to worry about us getting into any power structure that you are dominant in. We would have our own separate ways. You're the one creating this inclusion. You are. You're the one, and you're getting mad at us for an inclusion that you created. That don't make no sense. Here they go with the airplanes over. You're the one, you're punishing us for what you did because you needed us to integrate back then to steal the land. And now that you don't need it anymore and the truth is coming out and you feel like, damn, well, now that we don't need integration anymore, these Negroes are now finding out that they're American Indian. What are we going to do? So now you're reverting back to old Jim Crow laws in hopes that you can silence the voices of the American Indian again and keep our land, and then try to impose all of these racial hierarchies and taking us from our land again, because that's what you're trying to do. We had it segregated. Just segregate. Go back to segregation. Nobody's mad at that. We don't want to be integrated. So you ain't got to worry about us. If you have your own white side and we have our own brown skin side, everything will be fine. You will have your same structures, power and hierarchy over you and your people and all who want to be associated, and we won't be involved. Simple stuff. You ain't got to feel like somebody trying to take your space. We don't want your space. We want to be respected. The fuck you talking about? Do you even know us? Do you even listen? No. That's your problem. You got a big mouth and your ears are fucking small. You don't listen. You have cognitive dissonance and you're insecure. Nobody's trying to take your shit. We're trying to get you to get the fuck away from us. The fuck are you talking about? Our success has nothing to fucking do with you, because all we're trying to fucking do is build ourselves up in our society. It's not like when we build ourselves up, we go to the suburbs and tear your shit down. That's how you can then feel like that. We're not even doing that. We're going and trying to make our own way, and here you are disrupting it out of your own inadequacies because you need to feel like you're better than somebody and you're not. Separate. He's telling you to stay tagged along to us. The fuck? This shit is stupid. Simple solution. All this unnecessary hate when it's so simple. Segregate. Make your party work for you. Say, listen, we don't want to live around black people. Don't want our money either. You have enough white people to buy from you. And you got enough model minority groups that want to buy from you. So take them in that want to be around you. Don't make no sense. But as for black people, be ye separated. Let's go keep on reading. All right, redistribution of power, influence, and capital. Well, we already a global influence anyway, so that's nothing you can change. Those accustomed to maintaining cultural and institutional control may view the diversification as an existential threat to their traditional societal dominance. Again, going back to what I just said. Black people have never tried to overcome white folk ever in the history of ever. Right? We had already been nobles in high society on the land that we come from. So you have to understand, it was you who needed to conquer us, not us conquer you. We had already been chiefdoms, nobility, and emperors in our own society. We had already had that already. So we did not need to integrate with you. You needed to integrate with us. So if you talking about a power structure that you feel is our success is interfering with your power structure, then go back to segregation, sweetheart. Because the last time I checked, black people were not trying to be the president of the United fucking States. They were trying to be respected under the Constitution for their own human and civil rights if you are to stay integrated with us. They were not asking to be dominant. They were asking to be respected, treated like human beings, not gunned down by your clan member freaking brotherhood you call the police, or some dumbass white vigilante, or some silly ass model minority reject who won't go back to his own damn country out of fear or economic inability. We were asking to just be respected, and you know that, so shut up. If you feel like it is an existential threat to your societal dominance, then go back to segregation. Don't come to our side. None of this lynching shit. Leave us the fuck alone. You act like just because there's segregation, you gotta bother us. If you felt dominant and you feel like if we separate, there is no threat to you. We don't try to come up over you. We try to separate ourselves and build ourselves. Get the fuck away from us. It is you who keep trying to be around us, you weird sadistic bitch. You're the fucking weirdo. You're the one where we're like, let's separate. You got white people, whoa, where we gonna be going back then? It don't make no sense to go back then. Why do you want integration when you don't like a people? Be ye separated. It's nothing wrong with segregation. I never felt the need to be in white spaces. They make it so that we have no choice but to consume with them when we don't want to, by not allowing us to get those business loans, getting those equity loans that will help us further and establish our businesses. Y'all the one that put stumbling blocks before us so that we can't economically get up to build ourselves separate from you. If you stop hindering us, we will be separate from you. And then you don't have to live around us and worry anymore and about us coming up over you and taking away your social dominance. It make no sense. That's a solution. You know what I'm saying is right. What do you need to be integrated with us for? Especially since you say you don't want to be. That's fine. I don't want to be somewhere you don't want me to be. That's the thing. I don't want to infringe upon somebody else's right to want to be around their own. Because I wouldn't want you to do that to me. I don't want to do it to you. I'm fair like that. I'm not like you. I actually like who I am. The myth of meritocracy and dilemma. Okay? Acknowledging the systemic success of black people requires, listen to this. Acknowledging the systemic success of black people requires the dominant culture to admit that racism has artificially held other black individuals back. Thank you. Thank you. When you see the advantages of black people, the success, that's why they don't like to ever talk about racism. That's why you will hear anytime you hear a black person tell a white person they discriminate, that's why they don't like to ever hear it. Because when you see the success of black people, you now know that the reason why most black people aren't successful the way they should be is because racism is artificially what held black individuals back. Hello, somebody. They don't want to show you that our disadvantages is the reason why they have advantages. They want to tell you that they earned it. They didn't earn anything. Their mistreatment in social hierarchies is the only reason why. I just seen a video on on Facebook of this white guy who literally was making fun of his own people. Like, I want to see if I could pull it up, where he was like, literally, notice how since they rolled back DEI and affirmative action, that white children are not getting into Ivy League schools anymore. Because now it's based on merit. And it's not based on white supremacy. Yes, you still got the existing body that was there before that, but I'm talking about new incomers to those Ivy League schools. And you see black children, which we see a lot on Facebook, being accepted based on merit into these Ivy League schools. So this shit lets you know that all that shit about us being stupid was just you doing to us what was said about you and Yera. This is that artificial. Racism has artificially held other black individuals back. That is your any pipeline to prison, injustice systems, redlining our districts, peddling drugs, alcohol, gang violence, the rap culture music. All of that shit was a part of white supremacy and racism. Civil unrest, debaseness and depravity. When you make a person look like bad people, everybody will believe it. If I can't control them, I'll control the perception of them. I talked about this in another video where it is a social experiment that was done on rats, where socially economic struggling people, or people who are economically struggling, can lead to them committing crimes, right? But it doesn't necessarily have to mean that. But if I give the illusion that because somebody is impoverished and I police them heavily, where I'm getting constant arrest on bullshit, even innocent, we making up 53% of the exonerations because we are heavily, in our American Indian community, we're heavily policed. I can give the illusion that constantly these people are doing something, even if I know they're not. If I keep getting false arrests, nobody knows that these people aren't really going to prison and serving out years. And when you finally do hear about it, it doesn't matter, because we already got what we wanted. We got the world believing that these people are really bad people. All of them. So that nobody empathizes with them for what we're really doing to them systemically, so that we can perceive ourselves as superior. I digress. Black individual. Okay, going back to what we were talking about, black individuals back. Okay, for many white Americans, accepting that black people can and do succeed on merit forces difficult re-evaluation of their own earned advantages. Nah, it's because, see, if I earned my success, somebody else earning theirs would never make me feel no type of way. White people were not earning their advantages. So when you see a black person, a so-called black person, an American Indian, get up based on merit, right? It forces a difficult re-evaluation that, oh my God, these people literally qualify. So if I don't keep my disadvantage of getting in certain hierarchies based on my hue of complexion, I will go back to having nothing, because I've been getting away with just being white, and that's how I've gotten my success. But if I have to compete with somebody who's gotten their success based on merit, I would lose. That's what's really going on. And you're killing people because you've created a system of hierarchy where merit is no longer being used. And your advantages is based solely off of you being pale skinned. So now you're not working and creating work ethic to get, successful, where black people still have to work to get the merit to be successful. You can't compete. If they stop tomorrow with white supremacy, white people would become third world. And that is why you want to kill black folk. And that's why there's a wealth gap. Because without these social economic structures, the work ethic of a white man is non-existent. No disrespect, but y'all lazy. I've worked with you. I see your doctors. Horrible. Lazy doctors. Y'all lazy. And you're badly lazy. So when you have to think about meritly competing with a people who never had an advantage because of their hue of complexion and had to actually be exceptional to even get into the bottom positions, you are afraid that you will not measure up, and you won't. And it isn't because you're inferior. It is because you created a system of getting advantages not based on work ethic, but based on hue of complexion. You dumb yourself down, sweetie. Sociologists, psychologists, and cultural commentators explore this dynamic, often noting that the subjugation of marginalized groups, us brown-skinned folk, has historically required a justification, such as a myth of black inferiority, right? To maintain the social order. When that myth is dispelled by undeniable success, the foundational belief of the prejudiced individuals are challenged. Even me, I'm not the most successful anybody, but the fact that I can speak up, be seen, be heard, and articulate so that everybody can understand, right? The way that I can break things down, solve things, and speak also does away with white superiority. That's why they don't like for black people to be educated. Because even me having education, knowing how to read, having any form of comprehension, destroys the social economic structure that that white supremacy has upheld for white folk. So this is why we're constantly having all this killing of unarmed black men and women, making them seem inferior, making them seem all like criminals. I'm not saying there aren't bad black people, but why do I have to put that disclaimer out every time I speak on black folk? Why do I always, y'all don't have to do that. I'm tired of having to put the disclaimer out there that there's some bad. It ain't got nothing to do with the conversation. We ain't talking about the ones that's bad. Nobody's worried about them. We're talking about the majority of us that are just trying to make our everyday today life work and do what we need to get ourselves up in the world. That's who we're talking about. So when y'all talk about us getting up and us having any form of success hindering you, it would not if you actually had have allowed us staying segregated. If you did not burn and bomb our towns, we would have had our own separate from you. You would have had your Starbucks, your Chick-fil-A's, all of that would have been yours, and we would have had all of our stuff on our side. All our own theaters, all our own everything. It was your ass that crept in unawares. Now you scared of a system that you created and punishing us for it is insane. It don't make no fucking sense. Go back to segregation, boo-boo. Take all your business, Walmart, Target, all of it. Take all of it with you. We will build our own self up. It may start off small, but we'll get there. Take your shit back. Go and tell Congress, listen, I'm tired of living in a community with black people. Get together. Y'all have the power to go over there and make the change that you want. You're in high sectors. Instead of Donald Trump doing all this silly shit, I'm going to roll back your votes. Fuck that. Fuck the votes. Fuck all that. I don't want to vote for none of y'all bitches anyway. Fuck our votes. Fuck all that. Who cares? Segregate so we have our own congressional party for us and you have your own for you. Donald Trump can be your president. He ain't got to be ours. Who say we even want presidents anymore? I don't care about your new world order. You can do that on your side of the bed. Go on your side. You don't need us involved. That's the shit that I'm saying. Bring back segregation, sweetie. You can have all the new world order, fingertip, eyelid analysis, all that shit you can have on your white side. We ain't got to be involved with each other no more. They ain't got to, I'm just giving a solution. We ain't got to be involved with each other no more. That's it. The solution is segregation. Don't come on our side about no war shit. Don't bring your Klan. Don't bring your cops. Don't bring your army. Don't bring your National Guard. Stay the fuck away from us. That's it. That's all you had to do from Get Street. Niggas acting like we forced their ass. Y'all were the ones who wanted integration. Y'all went to them colleges. Y'all went to Stokely Carmichael telling him black power and to tell the youth shit. Y'all did that. Don't you dare fucking lie on us. Y'all the one that got into the ear of Martin Luther King. That's why he said, I feel like I'm sending my people into a burning building or some shit like that. Y'all was the one. Y'all here killing and wanting to kill people. Y'all did. That's why I said y'all will inflict wounds on yourself and then look around to see who got the knife. You got it. It's in your hand, crazy. If you are worried about your economic status, look no further to segregation. Take all of your stuff and get the fuck away from us. Simple shit. Petition that we segregate. Say, listen, start a petition. Start a petition. It's so easy. You're saying you don't want to be around us. We're saying we don't want you around us either. Segregation is key. Don't come on our side. Don't try to fight against us. We never think about y'all. So don't even be like, lie to each other. You know them blacks over there is trying to come over here. You know how y'all like to lie. Just to bother somebody because you killed yourself if you didn't have somebody brown to bother. Just segregate. Don't make up lies to stay around us. Segregation. You get all your good old boys together to help segregate. That's it. Leave us alone. Let us be. Ye separate. We will take our dollars and our money and we will be together with one another on one accord. And you could be with yours. We don't come into y'all stuff trying to infiltrate. Y'all made ghettos for us. We don't try to do nothing. We try to get out of ghettos that you produce for us. Remember that. On our land. From the urban removal, remember, you made our ghettos. You made those ghettos when we had bustling communities in New York City. You tore our shit down, put a park over it, and moved us. You made every ghetto that black people live in a white man made. You flooded our towns, flooded our cities, bombed them and burned them. You made our ghettos. So don't you dare sit around here talking about integration when it was you who made it so that we had to integrate with you. By destroying our wealth. When you burned our towns down, lynching and killing black landowners and business owners and stealing their stuff. Changing census records and taking our identity. You did this. So your fear was created by what you done. You were your own Achilles heel, and now you're trying to punish us for it. Hello, somebody. Get this shit together. Listen to this. The idea describing often referred to historically in economic nationalism or racial separatism is a concept that has been proposed by various groups. And everybody, y'all kill them. Tell me why you would say, I don't like y'all black people. I don't want to be around you. And then any black person that comes along and say, well, let's separate, you kill them. So that means you want to stay close. Why? Why, sweetheart? Why stay close to somebody you don't like? Right. Because you're weird and you're crazy. Economic nationalism and racial separatism throughout history, including both white segregationists and certain black nationalist leaders like Marcus Garvey, sellout black ass, and Malcolm X. From a theoretical standpoint, the appeal of the idea often comes from a desire of self-reliance. Exactly. Community protection. Exactly. And the retention of wealth within the black community, especially when looking back at the bustling economies of historic districts like Greenwood and Tulsa and the Black Wall Street during the Jim Crow era. Right. Why is it that you say one thing and do another? You're weird. You're weird. If you truly, why are you so worried about exterminating us? Why don't you learn to get over yourself? You want to know when a person wants you to die when they know they can't acquire to be who you are. When they can't be as great as you. So they need to always naturally win by default. And the only way they would actually win is if you're dead. This shit is pathetic. It's another way of not having merit. It's the truth. The perspective that I'm sharing, that integration created an illusion of progress while actually dismantling black economics and self-sufficiency is a view held by several prominent historians, economists, and black nationalist thinkers. But it is true. Since black people have been integrated, we have lost busing systems, transit systems, airway systems, radio systems, our own hospitals, doctors, lawyers. We have lost where we had our own stuff, theaters. So yes, the evidence is there. The core of the argument is that the integration allowed black capital to flow out of black communities, yes, and into white-owned corporations, yes, while white capital rarely flowed back, yes. This dynamic essentially starved the bustling black communities, black businesses, and districts that existed during the early 20th century, yes. Segregation helps us. Integration destroyed us. When looking at the proposal to build an independent society from the group up, using existing black-owned resources like agricultural, tech, and lumber, and manufacturing, and economists and social scientists analyze the potential outcomes through two distinct lenses, right? Operational capacity and systemic vulnerability. I'm not worried about vulnerability, right? We should not have any communication with white side, no way. Because a lot of time they try to be like, oh, this and no, I don't want to rely on you for anything. I don't want nothing, no communication. Even if it looked third world at first, I'd rather live third world like and be free with my people, not dealing with y'all, than to be amongst y'all, living in houses and home, and having to deal with all this brutality and all this and civil unrest and injustice. Take me back to a third world condition. I'm all right. We'll be all right. We know how to live. We know how to build. We are great people. We've built society before. We could do it again. I don't limit us. I'm not one of those black people. I know we great. Your point about existing resources is rooted in a factual reality. The global black diaspora and black Americans specifically possess immense talent, intellectual properties, and physical assets. Exactly. We don't need nobody. This is an illusion that we need somebody. And why is it an illusion? Because we're so scattered. We're so scattered in every state, away from any resources that our people can produce. We're scattered where we're inflated with all conveniences from everybody but ourselves. So it gives this illusion that we ourselves don't have the economic standing to support ourselves and ourselves only, and that's not true. This is why I want to bring back segregation. The only reason why white people want you integrated with them is because they've been benefiting off of your dollar. That's the only reason why they hate you, but they want to still get your money. Hate me and don't get my money neither. Foundation. There are black-owned farms, tech firms, construction companies, manufacturing plants. Right. The economic concept, in theory, a closed economic loop where black consumers buy exclusively from black producers, who buy raw materials from black suppliers, maximizes the velocity of the dollar. How many times a dollar changes hands within the same community before leaving, which is good for white communities, Asians, but ours. So enough must be enough. We need to, as a people, implement segregation for the betterment of our people. This isn't about hating white people. This is about us being economically able to stand on our own 2 feet without a fucking government handout. Without our dollars making people who hate us rich. I'm tired of doing this shit. I don't want to do business with none of y'all. I don't want to live around none of y'all. And I don't want to live in ghettos. So understanding that we have our own resources is a way to build ourselves up. We don't need a motherfucking body. We never did. They inflate you with convenience, black people. That's why you don't know that there are black lumber yards. That's why you don't go to black banks. That's why you don't know there are black restaurants and supermarkets. Well, you know the restaurants, but not the supermarkets. Black farmers. They got you and everybody else consuming everybody else but yourself. We don't want to be around you anymore. And we all right that you don't want us around you. That's fair. I believe in equality for real, for real. I ain't no sissy. I don't say one thing and then mean another. I don't say, oh, I don't really want to live around white people, but I want the white dollar. I don't want the white dollar at all. I don't want the Asian dollar. I don't want none of y'all. I want black people to do business with just black folk. That's it. If we decide to branch out to do some type of business with other racial groups because our buying power is good, that's up to us. If we decide to say, all right, Africa, we want to do business with you. We see that you got this type of metal material over here. We can be our own buying power in $1 trillion, where we can go and network with Africans to bring us some of their foreign lumber. We get our own trucks, our own planes out. Now we can do business with Africa. We don't gotta stay here. We can economically establish ourselves. But guess what? When Gaddafi tried to do that, white America came in and killed Gaddafi. Y'all talk all this shit, but try to stay under us black folk, us so-called niggers, who be chimping the fuck out. Well, why don't you let these chimps build their own fucking zoo separately from you, Mr. Human? Why don't you let us build our own jungle monkey music somewhere else? Why you keep killing off the apes that come along to try to separate us to make our own fucking zoo? When we try to make our own wildlife safari, here you come. So if us monkeys you don't want to be around, then stop infiltrating when we are trying to build ourselves up. The fuck? Like, come on. This is Kendra with True Us, y'all. Like, share, and subscribe. Stay up, stay blessed. Put God first above all else. Peace out. Bye for now.